If a client was to, be diagnosed with a cancer stage 2, they can't claim on a critical policy. But then cancer stage 3 and 4, they can claim on a critical policy. Now, if a client has 50,000 worth of critical cover and they qualify for 100% payout, once the provider, the insurers pays out, the critical cover is cancelled. Okay, guys. Now, this is why a lot of industry experts prefer Vitality's approach to serious illness in terms of severity based, rather than giving the client one-off lump sum and then cancelling. With Vitality, you have what is called multiple cover. So now I will explain it through this. So this is the serious illness PDF. If you don't have one, please just reach out and then you would have this sent over to you. Or reach your upline and say, can I have the serious illness PDF? It actually tells you here. I always send this to the client. So Vitality has serious illness times 1, serious illness times 2, serious illness times 3. So what does that mean? I like to explain it as a bag of sugar. Okay? So assuming you went to a shop and then you bought one serious illness one time, it means you're covering yourself for 114 condition. I can see Adriana's cat has gone on the cover to look at me properly and say, I want to follow this training as well. So with serious illness one time, it covers 114 condition. If you look here, it tells you, all right, 62%, okay, is covered up and paid up in full. 19 of that 114 is actually unique to Vitality, meaning other companies would not cover 19 of those from the serious illness. But once again, 1 time, 2 time, 3 time just means the level of how many times you can claim. So if you have 1 time, you're covered for 114 condition. Now, if the illness was to trigger 100% payout, the Vitality will pay you 100% on the money you selected, and then your serious illness is cancelled. However, if you chose 1 time, which is just like having 1 bag of sugar, but the condition that whatever you were diagnosed triggered a 50% payout, Vitality will pay you 50% of your money. So if you had 20,000, they'll pay you 10,000, and then you still have 10,000 to claim from if you were sick again. Whereas remember, with critical, it would have ended. But with Vitality, even if you've got Vitality 1 time, they will still pay based on severity. So if the sickness wasn't as severe, you will get paid a percentage, but you still got the rest that you can claim from until your pot finishes. Please, if you don't understand, I'm more than happy to cover this with you guys again. Put your questions in the chat. I'll leave enough time to answer. If you have serious illness 2 times, again, 2 bags of sugar. So it means if you have 20,000 and you've got 2 lots of 20,000, meaning altogether you've got 40,000 worth of serious illness cover. But you can only claim 1 bag worth at 1 time. So if you had serious illness 2 times, however, you were to get sick and then if you qualify for 100% payout, they will pay you £20,000. Then you've still got another bag that you can claim for, or another pot. I started using the analogy of a bag of sugar. Yeah. Why do I use bags of sugar? It's just to say if you're making tea, you will lose a lot less sugar than if you're baking a cake. That's why. So it's just how much of it that you need, what they will pay you, but it doesn't, like us, if we use sugar, you don't make a tea and throw the bag, right? You will keep until you finish the bag of sugar before you dispose of the package. That's exactly the same way your serious illness as well would work. You've got to finish all the money that is inside of your pot. So the more serious illness you take, the more conditions it covers you for, and then the more times you can claim at 100%. So serious illness 1 time, 114, you can only claim once at 100%. On the 100%, multiple times. Serious illness 2 times, you can claim twice at 100%, and multiple times under 200%. I should say that. With serious illness 3 times, you can claim 3 times at 100%, or multiple times under 100%. Now, over here are the conditions that are critical, which will automatically trigger 100% payout. Now, vitality vitality covers is based on severity. And please do explain that to your clients. Yeah. If it's a finger worth, they will pay a finger worth. Okay. If it's at the more extreme, they will pay. So how does one know how much they're going to get paid? It's this. With the serious illness PDF, it actually tells you here. Okay. Now, for all those who are in the medical field, I'm not going to try to pronounce these illnesses. Okay. I hope you guys can see. If you can't, you see it. Well, sorry. I'm not going to ridicule myself trying to pronounce these words. So you can see here there's different cancers, and it will tell you. Okay, let me use this for example. Advanced Hopkins disease. It tells you it pays at 100% or it pays at 50% based on the severity. Okay, so then that particular individual that has serious illness 3 times, they'll get paid 100%, and they've still got 40,000. How much? However, how much? That's okay. They'll still have 2 lots of that. All right. So now, if the person was to, get death, a permanent deafness, or irreversible, they would get paid 100%. Okay. Now, over here we have blindness in one eye. Blindness in one eye, critical cover will not cover it, but blindness in one eye is covered by vitality. If somebody has tunnel vision, it will be paid with vitality. You know, when you get those people who say, oh, sorry, I didn't see you, it's just that I'm tunnel vision. Let them know that's actually a medical condition. Let's just stop speaking negative over themselves. So here we go. Tunnel vision, they'll get paid 15%. Yeah. Then, and again, you guys can go through the PDF and see how much is paid for particular illness. This is why vitality is honestly wins the market when it comes to the sickness approach. Okay, because of the severity base first and foremost, and then the fact that it doesn't cancel when the client needs it the most. Now, vitality understands that there are individuals who might have let's say for example cancer and cancer relapse. So in that case they would have paid twice. Someone for example who has I know there's an illness, I don't know if it's dementia or that develops into something else, or is it Parkinson, anyways, they will pay twice on that. Yeah, brilliant. Now, if the client was to have 2 strokes, let's say for example a client had a stroke and the ambulance was called, and then have another stroke, it doesn't trigger 2 payout. They would only pay for 1 because it's the same thing. All right, guys. Now, that is the serious illness PDF. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys also to, before I move on actually, please, Austin, just tell me if you see this new PDF I'm going on to. Can you see this thing which says claiming whilst abroad?
Yeah.
Yep, perfect. So guys, Vitality pays anywhere in the world. Yeah, they offer worldwide cover, which is what I love about this, because people are from different places and they cover you anywhere you are in the world. It actually tells you even serious illness. Yeah, as long as you can get an approved medical specialist to confirm the relevant information, Vitality will pay out. They don't require you to come all the way back into the UK to make a claim. Medical professional in the country you're in can say you are sick, Vitality will pay out. All right, guys. Now I'm gonna now move swiftly on to it's a Vitality partners. No, before I go to the Vitality partners, I'll come back to this. We're gonna have a look at a website called the Price Comparison, which is a Vitality serious illness comparison site. If you guys are kind enough to remind me, for those who are on the computer, I can put the website in the chat. Yeah, so that you can just open it on your page and you can go through it. So now, if you have a client and the client, you get some clients who you've got to convince them, even though you already tell them they're covered for 174, they still want more convincing. All right. So you can come and use this page to compare whatever serious illness you were giving the client to what they have right now. So assuming now we do serious illness, I'm going to have to reload. Give me a second, guys, because I've had it open for a while. All right, awesome. Hopefully it should work better now. So if we do serious illness 3 times, then we can choose to compare with another company. Yeah. I was going to ask someone to unmute and give me a company that I can compare against, but I'm just going to...
London, or Legal in general.
Okay, legal in general. Royal London now, guess what, guys? They don't want their conditions to be compared anymore. So if you go to Royal London, you'll see it doesn't give anything. They're not forthcoming because they only do about 50 conditions. So yeah, they don't put themselves out there anymore. Okay, so let's say we do Royal London and then we do Scottish Widow. Okay, because you can actually compare. I'm saying, for example, if you were with a couple and then you wanted to, one said I'm with Scottish Widow, one said I'm with LG, and what it would do is it would always compare the best from those company. Automatically, it would compare with the enhanced to what we offer. So you've got the legal and general and you've got Scottish Widow here. Now, when you're with a client, you can actually press this little button and it will print out a PDF that you can send to your clients and they can have a look through. Yeah, so don't thread and say, oh, I don't know how to do this. Oh, can I have a copy of this? Just print it. It will download and then you can have it sent to them. So now, what is here? What you see a percentage. Remember, Vitality's pays out on the severity base. Then you would see, for example, this particular condition will pay out at 10%. So if you had a 100,000, it'll be 10% of that 100,000. Whereas legal in general and critical, as you can see, it is the enhanced one. We'll do it. It's not going to pay out. Okay. Now, if we go here, and for some reason it's chosen to do Scottish Widow core. Yeah, I don't know if they don't do enhanced, but that's what it's doing. So legal and general enhanced, Scottish Widow is the core cover that is covering with. So you've got here diabetes, Vitality will pay at 15%, the others are not going to pay out. Yeah, can you guys see that? Right? Okay, and that was because I did serious illness 3 times. So if I chose serious illness 2 times, you could see there are, remember, 2 times, how many covers does it condition, guys? 143 conditions that it covers. So as you can see, there are conditions that are not on 2 times, but are on 3 times. So if a client can permit to pay for 3 times, then offer them 3 times. But I love clients being able to make an informed decision by having a look at this part here so they know some may not be covered, because Vitality serious illness 1 time is very similar to a critical cover. Remember, there's only 19 conditions that are unique to Vitality. Okay, so as you can see, even on a 2 time, there's still a lot that is covered with Vitality that is not covered. So for example, is this permanent fetal incontinence? Yeah, Vitality will pay at 100%. The other companies will not pay at all. Now, we know this is a really weird thing to have. So they will pay, others won't pay, even legal and general enhanced. Okay, but as you know, is when a client is sick, that's really when they know the importance of having cover. It's not at that stage, then they want to discover the company is going to drop them because they got sick. Now, what other thing am I going to cover with Vitality? I think I've done the comparison. Let me see. Okay, yeah, that's the serious illness. I think I have it there twice. Now, can you guys see this brand new page, which is the discount and partners? Yeah? Yes. So Vitality's core purpose is to make people healthier and enhance their lifestyle. So how do Vitalities do it? Vitality, like car insurance, offer those who have a healthy living, those who have a healthier lifestyle, they offer them lesser premium. It's called Optimizer. Standard offer those who don't necessarily engage in activities. Yeah, they have what is called, they can get standard. Optimizer is for those who just, like I said, are more fit and give me an upfront discount. But the upfront discount could be lost. You lose it gradually. It can take 5 years to go from an optimized premium to a standard, but you've got to engage in Vitality. You could either use your watch or you can use your phone. Whichever device you choose to track your steps, you use that. Now, anybody who takes a policy of £40 or £45 below, they do get access to some discount, but not everything. Yeah, but those who then have anybody who has a life cover of, and that's called Vitality Select. Vitality Select offers rewards, but not as much as Vitality Plus. Vitality Plus is if you have a premium of £49 and £47 upwards. then you will get Vitality Plus, which gives you access to a full range of discount and awards. For example, if you want to stop smoking, you've got this company here. All right. So as you can see, they tell you how much a client can save by using this company. Now you do get Apple Watch. It's not free. Your activity pays for your Apple Watch. So for Apple Watch, you get an Apple Watch, you pay in £38 up front. Now, Vitality will pay for your Apple Watch as long as you are engaging in the Vitality steps, meaning you have got to do 40 points every single week, 160 on a monthly basis for your Apple Watch to remain at £0. Now, if what does that mean in terms of points? It's 12,500 per day, the steps you've got to do. Now, I work a lot seated, and I still manage to do about 10,000 points. Yeah, very easy. For those who are more active, honestly, they'll get a lot more points than that. So now, if you were to not do your 40 points, depends on the reason. If, for example, you something you've done on a regular basis, Vitality knows you normally do 40 points, but you just missed because you were sick, they will still award you the 40 points. They consider it like that. But if you took the Apple Watch and then you chose never to do any steps, then you will pay for the watch. Okay? It can go up to £9 per month for that. But if you engage in the steps, literally your Apple Watch costs you nothing. Now, if you don't want an Apple Watch, you can still get the other devices such as Fitbit, Garmin, and then I think there's Polo, and then there's another one, Samsung. You can get that with Samsung, 35% discount, Polo 40%. With Fitbit, you can get 36% discount, and Garmin, as you can see, 40% discount. Free Vitality to purchase any of those devices. Now, other things as well is we've got Blue Crest, which is for health check. So, as you know, one person can get a screening free, and then the next one for a year, and then the next one is £12 something. It's on your Vitality training, guys. Go and do your trainings. You also get Cafeneros. So Cafeneros, again, please, you can actually come on here and look. I'm just going to name the partners that Vitality gives. Okay, I'm not going to go for all the details because we've got so much of the training to cover. We also have Champney for those who love a spa resort, 75% of Champney. And Expedia, you get 20% off at Expedia. And this is something that I actually like. I just discovered this recently. If you don't want to go to the gym, you can actually use this website and exercise online. Yeah, so it's a group of people who do an online training. You can just take part in that. So they started bringing in a lot of things when the COVID came along, just so that everybody could really benefit from what they offer. We've got Headspace, so you can see clients will get up to 12-month Headspace subscription on Vitality, and then Mindful Chef as well, Audion Cinema. If Audion Cinema, you can get up to 4 tickets. If you have if you're a big family, you can get up to 4 tickets a month free of charge, and you can go and watch the movies. But you've got to do this get 48 points, which is 48 points a month. 40 points you can do in a week easily. Now, if you don't want to go to the cinemas, then you can use Rakuten. I do prefer using Rakuten because with the cinema, I've got kids of different ages. My kids are a bit like a stairs. They can't always be in the same cinema room, but they always want you guys to be with them, right? So what do? I prefer using Rakuten, where on Fridays we can come home, get some popcorn, do takeaways, and we can watch a movie all together in the same room. So Rakuten, you get 1 ticket per week. Cinema ticket, you just get 1. Rakuten, 1 ticket a week. And you just got to do 12 points for that. Now, we also have gym memberships, up to 50% off gym memberships. And that is Pure Gyms. I know there's another one. Is it Virgin Active? And also Nutfield Health, somewhere there. All right. Now, what else am I missing? Oh yeah, we've got Waitrose as well. You can get up to 25% on Waitrose if your policy is under £45, over 45. No, under £25. Over if you have Vitality Health, you get 40% of Waitrose discount and also more discount on Waitrose and Vitality American Express. If you have Vitality Life and Vitality Health together, they increase and enhance the discounts that you get with the different companies. So now this is a new shop that's coming, which is sportsshoes.com, is new. So you can get up to 50% of a pair of whatever you want to get there. Yeah. And if you want to do those charity run, please feel free, book onto park run. So that's another thing. Yeah, that Vitality has there. So I hope I've explained that. So those are all the discount that Vitality gives. I'm prepared to take questions at this point, or do you guys want me to carry on? Anyone got a question so far before I go on to how we quote? No questions?
No. Sorry. I would say that when I did my training, I didn't see all these perks. I've only seen those that we showed on our overview meetings. So all of this weren't on the training that I looked down on when I completed mine. So they're new to me now, so that's good.
Yes, please. And they do always add some more. And like I said, there's quite a few who are not on here as well.
Okay.
Because I know that there's also I know there's another gym. There's 3 gyms that people can use with Vitality, but it's just going through all of it right now. It's just
right.
Yeah, but yeah,
those are when I did it anyhow.
Yeah, loads of rewards as well that you get here. And Vitality actually even rewards you for doing a dental checkup. If you're female and then you go and do your smear test, you get rewards for actually doing that, okay? Which is good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to move on to my financial game plan. Remember, guys, this is my dummy client, yeah? And I'm using the dummy client for this example. So you've already done the financial education with a client. Now you're meeting with them to go through their protection option. Now having this over here is first and foremost to see how much the client gets and how much the client spends. Also sometimes great to enable for you to really compare what they're covered as well, because remember it does include other stuff. But most of all is to make sure the client can afford the policy you're offering them. We don't ever want to put our clients in financial hardship. Now, this here also helps you to know how much of your client's income they want to cover. So we would agree, my dummy client earns a good amount of money, right guys? But their outgoings is £5,000. So if one person can't work, it's going to be too much for just one to handle. So that even though they've got a property investment coming in, yeah? So one of the things we always have here is to see how much they're earning, how much comes in, how much goes out, to know how much of their income they need to cover in terms of income protection, and also to check affordability. Now, we know the client can afford a cover, right guys? So what we are going to do now is we're going to swiftly move on to my Vitality. If I can find it, it should be somewhere here. Yeah, my Vitality Advisor Hub. Welcome to Vitality Life Advisor Hub. Once you are licensed, you will receive your login details. Please do not go to Vitality Health, yeah, because it won't let you log on. You will all become licensed for Vitality Life, not Vitality Health. Vitality Health is another exam which you have got to go and do in person. Okay, the pass mark is really, really high for Vitality Health for you to qualify to sell health insurance. Okay, so when you get your login, remember it is Vitality Life Advisor Hub. So you go into here. All right, so it has to be with your email and then a password. So again, for GDPR, because we are recording, I'm gonna have to pause my screen until I get into my Advisor Hub, okay, and then I'll resume share. All right, so just need to select agency quickly, and then we can continue. All right, so I've gone in my Vitality now, and then when I went in there, all I had was create new client contact. That's it. I was just on the dashboard. It has client's personal information. I just went to create new quote. So create new quote. You can see it has here my client's details. When you see add another client, that will mean you're giving the client a joint policy. Do not give clients joint policy. Joint policy means you're covering 2 individuals for the price of You're covering two individuals for one payout, but they will still pay individually, by the way. All right, guys. It doesn't mean joint life doesn't mean that it's one. Although it's one premium, but it's still calculated based on two individuals. It's the price is merged, and then they apply a discount to it. But it solely means that two people are covered for 200,000, meaning they would only pay on the death of the first or the other. So we are about doing what's right for the clients. All right, guys. So I always explain to clients what joint life is, because some come in and say I want joint life and don't fully understand what it means, because it would only pay on the death of the first or the second. People think joint policy means it will pay twice. It doesn't. So we don't do joint cover. So if you're going to quote a couple, quote the partner first and then quote the other. Yeah. So now we're going to build a vitality for it. I'm going to use the information of my dummy clients. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the title. My dummy client is a doctor. Okay, so I've selected the title. Again, guys, you drop down menu, you just select. But don't give them something because they for feel good factor. Actually give them a title that they do hold. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put the name of the first client. So I'm going to go with Joseph. All right, guys. One thing you will see, can you guys see this line here, which is, it looks like it is beating, like it's got a heartbeat there? Yeah, my cursor. It's right at the back of Joseph. After the H, I don't press space. Okay? When you build a quote, do not put space. Otherwise, it's going to flag as making a mistake. All right? Don't put space. So, yeah, can you see it's giving me a tick there? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do trainer and there. So if I leave a space, look what it's going to do. It gives you a tick, but look what happens after. So date of birth for my client is the 1st of February. Okay, if you put it in 2, it just automatically moves to the next one. 1984 is when my client is born. So Joseph, you've got to select male. It tells you the client's birthday, age at the next birthday over here. The quote based on the client's age at the next birthday. So now look, you guys remember I left the space behind the surname, yeah, and you're not supposed to leave a space. I'll show you why I did that. Now I've got to select their smoke status: regular smoker, ex-smoker, regular smoker, occasional, ex, or never smoked. Now here's the thing, regular and occasional are still priced the same. There's no difference. They're priced the same as smoker.
Yeah.
Now an ex-smoker is priced the same as someone who's never smoked, but they must declare. An ex-smoker should have stopped smoking 12 months ago. Okay, then they will get priced just as a non-smoker, as they've never smoked. Now, if I pick up the habit, if a client picks up the habit, start smoking after they're covered, that's fine. They don't need to declare. But ex-smoker never smoked, pay the exact same amount. So there's no reason for them not to declare. All right, my lovely people. Yeah. So now, again, I'm going to now press next. Oh yeah, I didn't choose their smoke status, so it's telling me here I didn't choose smoke status. So we're going to go for ex-smoker, just for you guys to know. Okay, now I'm going to press next here. Can you see it's not moving? Have you guys noticed it's not moving? Guess why? Because I left the space after the name. So can you see when I do that space, I've got to go back a step and then I've got to click away from it. You guys saw that, right? Went back a step and now next. It should work. Yeah. Brilliant. So if you notice that you're pressing next, it doesn't go, just look, you may have made a mistake. Maybe because you put a space at the end of a name and the system is expecting you to put in another name. Okay, so now we're going to go what it says here, create new. And if you made a mistake with the names, the spelling, you can edit. You can just edit there. Yeah, you can just press edit and then you can change it. And then again, create new quote for clients. So we have personal protection or business cover. Don't just do business unless you understand it. If you have a client that wants a business cover, just come to us, bring a client, and then we'll give them an education on what is business cover. Please don't missell a product. It's not funny because we know how insurance things work. Yeah, don't missell a product. If you're not sure, stick to personal. If you need more information, come and we'll give you a course on business training. And also it's in your training, in your Genister page. If you go to training, you go into Vitality Academy, you can actually study more on business protection. So we're now just going to do personal cover. So personal cover, if you see here, you've got two where it says quote style, you've got cover lead, and then you've also got premium lead. We don't do premium lead. Cover lead means what does the client want to have covered? Not premium lead. Premium lead is the client says, I just want something that costs me for £10. Then you could potentially be on the covering them. Okay, so we go based on what is the client. So a good rule of thumb, leave it as it is. Don't change this top bit. Leave it as it is. Okay, don't fiddle with it too much. So there, you just go to cover. Now we've got life cover. As you can see, serious illness, it stands apart. Yeah, guys, life cover is by itself. Serious stands alone. Income protection stands alone. Now, for those who are paying attention, you will see we've got something that says life with serious illness. We call this water into wine. This is a typical critical policy. It's just been introduced because before Vitality stood so above the market, it was hard to compare. For those who normally get cover where they say, I'm getting a cover with my for mortgage purpose, yeah, most insurers will sell you something that is life with, meaning your life and your serious illness are merged. So water into wine. So if you take wine, you take water, you mix it. Imagine if it's red wine, you take red wine and then you take water, you mix it. What do you get? It's just a color change. Can you separate the two once you've mixed it? No. Meaning that one claim on this affects the other. So envision you were drinking that water that you mix with wine. The more you drink, the more your cover reduces. It reduces both. So what do? We quote clients separately. You want water and wine? Great. I'll give you a bottle of water. I'll give you a glass of wine. Separated. Okay? Meaning you can drink them separately. So client will claim on their serious illness when you sell them separately. It never affects the life cover. Do you agree? If you have a bottle of wine, your glass of wine, and a bottle of water, how is drinking your wine going to affect your water if you've got them separate? But if you mix it, of course, it affects. Meaning if a client was to get critically ill and they paid out 100%, the life cover is gone too. Now, we don't want that. That's one thing we've always campaigned about. But Vitality only brought it in because clients just didn't know how to compare, because their product always stood very superior to the market because it never canceled the other. So they brought in something that we can use for like comparison. Again, we don't ever use that for clients. We stick to giving them separate things. So now this is what we're going to do. I'm going to make this quote very basic. Yeah, I'm going to do a very simple building quote and then a more complicated one. It's being recorded. I've sent you guys also a video of this so you can see it. Again, this I would say is more of a community preference. Some individuals want life cover, term life, it's a life cover with an expiry date. Someone that comes, again, I've got to do this. Let me do something. Who remembers my client's birthday, age at the next birthday? Who remembers the client's age at the next birthday? Okay, just unmute and shout out the answer.
41.
Thank you. Great. You see, I even forgot. Now, if you remember and you keep those details, now, based on the quote, and Clover, because you're muted, I'll ask you this. How long should we cover the client for? Up to the age of 90 or 60? What would you suggest?
90.
90. All right. So the client wants to be covered for up to the age of 90. That is called term life cover. Yeah. Fixed term means how the length of time you're going to cover the client for. Now, In the term here, don't put 90 because it means you're saying you will cover the client an extra 90 years on top of their age. That will take them to 130. You can't do it. So what you do is 90 on your calculator. If you're good at math, do it in your head. I'm not. 90 on my phone minus the client's current age, which is 41. So now for me to cover them up to the age of 90, I know it's 49 years worth of cover. Are we together?
Yeah.
Now, cover amount, I'm going to go for, let's do 100,000. Okay? I'm going to go for 100,000. Now, we always leave it on guaranteed. Guaranteed means if your client's health changes the day after Vitality has accepted to cover them, they will never say to the client, you've gotten sick in the process, we are going to review your cover. If you give a client reviewable, means they can come back and say, your health has changed, we're either going to increase the price or we're not going to cover you. Yeah, so remember, we never want to play with our clients like that. So always leave it on guaranteed, meaning they are quoting the client based on the client's health today. And that's how the client sorts. If the client gets sick in 2 days, too bad for Vitality. Sorry, Vitality, if you hear this, but it's just the truth. Okay. Now, for 100,000 for this client up to the age of 90, there's two prices. I mentioned this at the beginning, guys. £22 standard, no discount. 17 if the client feels they're fitter and live a healthier lifestyle, they will pay £17 for this life cover up to the age of 90. Yeah, with an upfront discount. Now, if a client takes this and never does any exercise or never tracks their steps, it could take up to 5 years for this to go back to this. Okay, it takes up to 5 years. All right, so again, I know this is a very intense trading, so please, guys, we will cover this again. Yeah, we will cover this. We will cover a bit of this again tomorrow, but just solely this. Now, if I wanted to give my client something to the age of, if I want to see the difference between term and whole of life, let's have a look. All I got to do is to come here and I'm going to edit. Then I'm going to change from term to whole of life. Okay. Now, the same 100,000. Okay. I leave this as it is. Good rule of thumb again. Leave it as is defaulted. Don't change it. Yeah, just leave it as it is. They've made it easy. Just leave it as it is. All right. So we can now see the difference now is with whole of life. Remember, whole of life, there's no end dates. The client will pay £84.93 for whole of life, 100,000, or £55 with an upfront discount. Sorry, that's my stapler. My desk is very messy, by the way. So that's what the client will pay with an upfront discount. Okay. 100,000. Now, one thing you guys have to see is that £55. This is how I like to look at it. So let me do something. So if I do £55, 03, all right, and I decide to multiply that by 12, first and foremost, that's £660. Okay. If I then multiply that again by 40 years, that is £26,414. So if my client took this cover and paid this for 40 years, remember they're 41. At this stage, how old would they be? 81 years. Yeah? They've only paid 26,000. And they have how much? £100,000. Yeah? So if we're looking at it in terms of even an investment, they still have about a good £74,000 interest. You see, initially you think whole of life is expensive until you see the fact that, hey, you gain more in the long run. So let's say we cover this client for 50 years, which takes them now to how old, guys? 91 years, where normally their normal cover would have stopped. Yeah. The client is only paid £33,000. So how much is that? That is 60-something thousand pounds in interest. So do you see why many choose to go for whole of life? Because it has an investment element to it. Okay? Because then you find that you never pay more than what you never pay more premium than what your cover's worth. Does that make sense? Yeah, I always calculate with my client just to make sure that they actually are never paying more than what their premium is worth. Okay? So now that's the difference between whole of life and term life cover. So now, why do we as a company do term life cover? The reason for term life cover was always for this. We said to clients, remember term life was what, £17, right guys? Yeah, okay. So term life was £17, and we've got the 53, 55 pounds. All right, so I'm going to minus, let me minus £18. Okay, I'm going to minus £18, and it's now £37 different. So this policy is £37 more. So now the aim is to always say to the client, cover yourself for term life in terms of rent wealth, whilst you build, you invest for the future. So if we were investing £37, how much would that give us in 1 year? That's £400 in a year. Let's times that by 50. That's only £22,000. Do you see? So now, if somebody was saving £37 for 50 years, they've only saved 22,000. It's not as good as the 73,000 they would have made by just taking this cover. Think about it, guys. So how many people do you think get cheap life cover and invest the difference? Not a lot of people do. They just think, oh, my life cover is cheap, I'm not going to invest the difference. But whereas whole of life is actually something that will pay out at any stage. So then the client doesn't have to worry about the health changing. Yeah, guys? Okay. So what is cheap always kind of works out more expensive. It's like getting a £5 bag. You're going to replace that bag more than if you just purchased a £50 bag. Because the £50 bag may be of better quality, and you may have not replaced it as often as the £5 bag you bought down the road. Okay? So quality is really important. It's about the value. All right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to term life cover. I'm going to change this back by just clicking on fixed term and put it back. Let me not do 17 years. Let's do something that covers the client maybe to the age of retirement. Back to my calculator. And in fact, let's take it all to the age of 75 actually. Let's do 75 minus the client's current age. That's 34 years. 34 years. Let's see what that looks like. So if a client took something that covers them to the age of 75, it is £8. Yeah, for term life cover, £8. Now, if a client then says, give me serious illness with vitality goes up to the age of 75. Most insurance, it stops at the age of 70. So clients are covered for an extra 5 years. Now, serious illness, again, guys, this pays out whilst the client's alive. Life cover is cheaper because it pays out once. Serious illness pays out a lot. So should we go for 1 time, 2 times, or 3 times? Somebody shout out the answer for me, please.
3.
3. All right, so let's go for 3. So what does that mean? They've got 3 bundles, yeah? What we are going to do is not give them 100,000. 10,000 is the minimum you can give in terms of serious illness. Let's give them 30,000. Let's have a look at what that looks like. Now, 30,000, I like to take into consideration if a client was to get sick, would 10,000 be enough? Guys, you know right now, 10,000 is not enough to sustain a household for a year of sickness. So with 30,000, could just about do, because most people will spend about 20,000 a year if they were still spending £2,000 on a monthly basis. Yeah. So now we've given the client 30,000 serious illness, which comes out at £37. And here, all right. So if you can see, with an upfront discount, it's almost like they were just paying for serious illness by itself. Yeah. Can you guys see that? Yeah. Now I'm going to do something quickly. I'm going to select the optimizer. I've got to show you guys something. Serious illness, unlike other companies, remember what today's training is, why is Vitality better? Serious illness, unlike other companies, if a client takes this and they never get sick, what next? They will get half of this money back. All right? And you will see it mentioned on the PDF. So I would press print. And then it's going to take me back to my screen, but I will do the calculation before I go back there. So now, For my mathematicians in the house, let's do this together. Yeah? So 28 pounds dot 24. Let's multiply that by 12. That's 338 and 88 pence. Okay?
Yeah.
Now, let's multiply that by the 34 years this client is going to have the cover for. So multiply the yearly premium times 34 years that will have that cover for. Guess how much they paid? 11,521 pounds and 92 pence. Are you guys with me?
Mm.
How much are they covered for? 30,000, right?
Yeah.
Vitality will give them back how much? Half of 30 is how much?
15,000.
15,000 is what they get back from Vitality as a goodwill gesture at the completion of their cover. Not them taking it for a year and cancelling it and saying, can I have 15 grand because I kept my policy for a year? No. When they complete the contract of that 34 years, if they never got sick, Vitality gives them back 15,000. So always half of what you cover the client for. Now, for our calculation, the half they get back is a lot more than what they paid. They paid 11,000 and get back 15 grand. So who's out of pocket? Vitality, quite frankly, not your client. Yeah. So it almost seems as if the client was really just paying a deposit towards their sickness cover.
Yeah.
Because what they paid in premiums, they can recuperate it back.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want to get illness cover? Because you're only paying for it in the meantime. So it would be really logical. The client is only, if they had these two covered, they're only paying for the life cover. Because the serious illness goes into a pot that goes back to the client. Full stop. Okay? Now, for those very skeptical individuals say, I have to see this. Let me take you to the PDF so you can see it for yourself. All right, so this is my dummy client. I'm going to make this page bigger.
Thank you.
So we can now have a look. Yeah, it actually says here, and Vitality documents, oh my goodness, very easy to read. Simple, simple, simple. Super easy to read. They have been awarded 5-star de facto rated by the experts. If an insurance company has 5-star, it means they honor their claim. So that no one ever tell you people don't claim. People don't claim if the representative mis-sells or sells to make a commission and not sell for what's in the favor of the client. Yeah. So now they have 5-star de facto rating on everything. Now let's go back here to the client's serious illness. It tells you here, if the client didn't get sick, they get 50% of their serious illness. That's it. That's that. Yeah, it's written. So it's not me making it up. It's actually written there. Okay. So when you get clients who say, yeah, my life cover covers me for terminal illness, every life cover covers terminal illness. Is nothing special. Every life cover pays out on terminal illness if the life expectancy is less than 12 months to live. It just comes with it's a standard. Okay, guys? Yeah. So now that is that is literally that serious illness, and I've not included income protection. Nor am I going to include income protection for today's training.